It is March 31st, and this is another edition of the Met Report. I'm Tyson Sintas.
And I'm Melanie Aguirre. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started. Are you looking to get involved with the university government? There's a great opportunity coming up to find out more about how students impact their schools. Our reporter Anissa Reza has more on the story.
Student governments from all schools across Aurora campus are holding elections April 10th to 14th for next year's officers and representatives. To get the word out and for students to meet their future leaders, they held a Meet Your Stugo event in the Multicultural Lounge. Students were able to go to the booths from CCD, CU Denver, and Metro, where each school's Stugo team members were introducing themselves and what they do. Each team is also looking for more students to join. The event included free pizza, merch, and a make-your-own trail mix table. We interviewed Mike Warner for more information.
It's very rewarding to join student government, and I can only speak to MSU. It gives you a chance to really dive in and listen to the student body and solve issues on campus. Because right now, the one kind of killer for student issues is lack of representation. Students aren't showing up. So having that opportunity to be in that room, give your feedback. The administration is looking for it. There's so many people on this campus who are looking for student feedback. We're just getting us more involved because though we may be 3 different schools on this campus, we're much closer. We share this neighborhood, and what I wanted to do and what we wanted to do is show the camaraderie between all 3 schools.
If you are interested in joining, just go visit your school's committee and be on the lookout for more voting information.
Since Michael Phibbs stepped down as the campus chief of police in February, the Auraria Higher Education Center has been conducting a nationwide search for his replacement. In an effort to get the Auraria community involved, the campus police department will be hosting a dialogue on Tuesday, April 4th, open to students, faculty, and staff. The goal of the meeting is to discuss the role of the police as well as the public safety on campus in an effort to explore, quote, workable solutions and trade-offs and find common ground. The dialogue will be held in St. Cajetan's Cathedral from 3:30 to 5 p.m. next Tuesday.
Yesterday, on March 30th, TSAC released a statement following the comments made by a member regarding Indigenous people. Councilmember Alan Williams has come under fire for comments made at a student government meeting in October of last year. During the meeting, a proposition was made to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day instead of Columbus Day at the university, and Williams asked for the word genocide to be removed from the proposition. Williams doubled down on this rhetoric in an interview with our colleagues at the Metropolitan, saying, "There's also genocide committed by Native Americans against the settlers that were coming across at that time too." Many found these comments insensitive and called for accountability for this use of language. TSAC, in their statement, condemned this language and behavior. Next week, we will have an update. Stay tuned as we follow this issue.
5 Dreamers in the name of a documentary about 4 DACA recipients hoping to inspire change that was screened here on campus.
The fight will continue, and I think that's just part of playing the game.
The DACA, or Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, was given legal protection by the Biden administration, but the program is still in danger, and MSU Denver's CMEI, or Center for Multicultural Engagement and Inclusion, along with the Center for Immigrant Services, held the 5 Dreamer event to advocate for change.
What we were hoping to get out of this event today is to really highlight both a fantastic group of filmmakers, producers, and subjects, and just individuals who've really been able to use art and storytelling to push for immigration reform. We're also just hoping that students see that no matter what their story is, what their immigrant story is, that they have something really important to contribute, and that even in a small way, that can really make a big difference.
On Thursday, March 30th, a documentary film screening and panel featuring 5 Colorado DACA recipients was held in the Jordan Student Success Building in hopes of using the story of the 5 Dreamers to advocate for DACA recipients and immigrants all over the country, encouraging them to use their own voices and stories to push for immigration reform. The panel included the director and producer of the film, as well as 2 of the film's stars. Today we spoke to Laura Beniche, the producer of the film, to hear their overall message in creating the documentary.
Immigrants were very beautiful because we have gone through so much and we're still here trying our best, being resilient. And so we should be proud of that and not let anything stop us.
For the Met Report, I'm Cecilia Perez Najera.
Coming up next.
Another shooting occurs at East High School less than a month after the first one.
The fate of a historic golf course will be decided on Tuesday.
The women's NCAA tournament reaches the Final Four.
All this and more after the break.
Dad?
Being a dad can be transformative, but also a lot of fun. Help prepare your little monster for the outside world. Encourage their interests. Support their growth. Walk them through new relationships.
He's perfect.
Whatever you say.
And prepare them to stand on their own 2 feet.
So much of the good in my life is because of you.
Never stop being a dad.
COVID-19 has been a really long and difficult fight.
It's definitely taken a toll on all of us.
Right now, new variants are a lot more contagious and need to be taken seriously.
Getting vaccinated and staying boosted is the best way to keep you protected from COVID-19 and help you stay out of the hospital.
Even if you got COVID before,
it's important that you go get your COVID booster.
COVID shots are safe.
Much safer than getting the virus.
We can all do our part
and get back to living. You can go to getvaccineanswers.org for more information.
March 22nd saw yet another tragic shooting at Denver's East High School, less than a month after hundreds of students had first gathered at the state capitol to call attention to and demand action against gun violence. In the week right before the high school went on spring break, Austin Lyle, a 17-year-old student who had been expelled from Overland Park High School in 2021 for gun possession and placed on probation, walked into East with a handgun and injured 2 school administrators. While both of the victims have been reported alive since, Lyle was found later that day in a rural Park County, dead by gunshot in what is likely a suicide. Politicians at the local and state level have released statements calling for action, while the Colorado legislature continues to debate gun policies, such as assault weapons bans and more stringent background checks.
Former President Donald Trump was charged by a grand jury in Manhattan yesterday evening, making him the first former president to be criminally charged in U.S. history. The charges come in response to hush money payments Trump made to porn star Stormy Daniels, a scandal that consumed his presidency back in 2018. Weeks ago, Trump told his followers on Truth Social that he would be arrested, going so as far as to repost a quote from a right-wing columnist that said, "Democrats want to indict and arrest President Trump. They want a war, let's give it to him." The former president has stated that he still has plans to run for president in 2024, even with the charges looming over his head, calling it political persecution and election interference at the highest degree in history.
A cashier of the Monarch Casino in Black Hawk pulled off the largest casino heist in Colorado history when the clock sprung forward on March 12th. 44-year-old Sabrina Eddy walked out of the casino with $500,000 in different bricks of cash. At 12:45 in the morning on March 12th, Eddy was captured on video grabbing the bricks and driving off in a gold minivan. She returned hours later and stole 4 more bricks of cash. Eddy called the casino saying that she would bring back the cash, however she thought she would be arrested. Eddy was supposed to take the money to a lawyer outside St. Anthony's Hospital in Westminster, however he was not there upon her second arrival to the hospital. Due to there being an active investigation, the Division of Gaming has yet to make any statement or provide any records of the situation.
The Federal Transit Authority is planning to provide funding to RTD to help build their Bus Rapid Transit project. The Bus Rapid Transit Project, or BRT, is poised to receive almost $142 million from the Federal Transit Authority as part of their Capital Investment Grant Program. This will account for half of the budget required to complete construction. The project would create new dedicated bus lanes in the middle of Colfax Avenue from the Civic Center station until Yosemite Street. From Yosemite Street to the R-Line Colfax Light Rail Station, buses would mix with regular traffic flow. Buses would operate 24/7, arriving at stops every 7 minutes on weekdays. However, completion of the project is not expected for another 7 years.
At least 16 people were killed and many are still missing after a landslide swept through central Ecuador. The massive landslide buried dozens of homes and killed at least 16 people, according to local authorities. Over 30 people have been rescued so far. Ecuador's risk management secretary said that around 500 people and 163 homes were affected by the disaster. Firefighters from half a dozen cities were taken to the area to help the emergency response agency. About 60% of the potable water service in the area was affected by the landslide. This all happened a week after an earthquake struck Ecuador's southern coast, leaving more than a dozen people dead.
Here to give us next week's weather outlook, we go to Anissa, Mohd, Reza at the Quad.
Thanks, squad. If you like slight chills, weird bursts of weather, and gloomy skies, you're not going to like this weekend's weather, because as we head into this weekend, the temperatures are going to be in the mid to high 60s with predicted sunshine throughout. So throw on those shades and then take them right off, because going on into Tuesday, it's going to be the low 40s with a chance of slight snow, so just be ready for the next couple of days going into Friday. But at the end of the weekend, we will see some sunshine, so have slight hope in that. That's my weekly weather report. Thanks for listening.
I'm a first-generation Filipino American. You don't always feel you're a part of the country you live in. It's this weird middle space sometimes that you have to live inside of. But when you meet others that are also living in that space, you'll learn to know that it's its own unique space too.
Okay, here we go.
3, 2.
3, 2, 1.
COVID-19 has been a really long and difficult fight.
So when we start talking about COVID, I completely get it. It's frustrating.
We've all been impacted one way or another.
The fight against COVID is also changing really quickly.
And it's sometimes really hard to keep up.
So here are a few things we know.
We are not fighting the same virus from 2020.
Right now, new variants are a lot more contagious and need to be taken seriously.
Getting vaccinated and staying boosted is the best way to keep you protected from COVID-19 and help you stay out of the hospital.
Even if you got COVID before,
It's important that you go get your COVID booster.
COVID vaccines are safe,
Much safer than getting COVID-19.
We all want this to end sooner than later.
so go ahead and do things.
Go out and live your life, but get vaccinated. Stay boosted.
We can all do our part.
And get back to living. You can go to getvaccineanswers.org for more information.
Hello everybody, I'm Noah and welcome back to the Politics Block. MSU students are constantly getting engaged in issues on campus, and on Wednesday the university held a debate between student teams to discuss mayoral priorities.
I'm here on campus, right outside room 440 at the Tivoli, where students are having a mayoral debate, talking about civic engagement and other issues around higher education. I had a chance to sit in on the debate. Let's go and see what's inside. Wednesday night, MSU held a mayoral debate to gain and focus on the perspectives of students. Student teams from MSU and CLAS discussed what the next Denver mayor should focus on, as well as other issues and platforms.
At DMOK, we
emphasis on had one of the largest mental health teams in all of Denver Public Schools, and that includes, therapists, psychiatrists, and I feel like that's helpful for not only students who have experienced that violence, but also those who are just afraid of it in general.
Issues like civic engagement, supporting students through higher education, crime, and more were all discussed following the input and feedback from an MSU debate judge.
We need to do something about the violence, and we need to take some action there. I think you've made a great case for that. I'd like to hear a little bit more about the sorts of supports that have been put in place for students who've already experienced that violence and are trying to manage that in their lives.
Not only did judges score students on their debate and techniques, but they also participated and engaged in legitimate conversations around issues our communities face.
Denver voters will go to the polls on April 4th to choose the next mayor for the next 4 years. Let's meet the candidates. This is a wide open race, which means that Tuesday's general election will almost certainly not determine the winner. Rather, it will narrow the field to the top two, who will face off June 6th for the runoff. The group running includes former mayoral staffer Kelly Bruff, State Representative Leslie Herod, City Councilwoman Debbie Ortega, activist Lisa Calderon, and State Senators Chris Hansen and Mike Johnston, all of whom were present at a debate in the Auraria campus's King Center last month. Decisive issues for the more than 20 declared candidates include homelessness, air quality, and renovations in downtown. Polling stations will be available around the city next week, so be sure to get out there and make your voices heard. Denver will also vote this coming Tuesday on the fate of a historical golf course in the Park Hill neighborhood. I got more on the story. The Park Hill Golf Club has had a checkered past since its opening nearly 100 years ago. It started as a public course, but in the 90s was converted to a daily fee operation at the behest of the city of Denver. However, since then, Denver and its various partners in managing the land have faced legal battle after battle whenever they tried to develop it. In 2019, Westside Investment Partners made their purchase of the lot public, and in 2021, Ordinance 301 forced a vote from the whole city to allow any private development by the new owners, essentially leaving it as a public park until further notice. Now voters have the choice of rezoning, whether to keep a conservation easement, create a park, or give it back to Westside to be renovated and privatized. The yes vote on question 2.0 will keep it as an open space and allow the land to be made into a park, while the no would allow it to remain golf course only and open the door for commercial investment. Well, that's all we've got for you this week. Stay tuned, because up next, Trenton Sanders will have all the latest in the world of sports.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
All right, let's try this.
COVID has been a really long fight, and it's been especially tough on kids.
It's been a rough transition for all of us.
Right now, as a father, I want to give the best tools to protect my kids.
So what can we do to get back to that sense of normalcy?
Every day, parents ask me if their child 5 and above should get vaccinated.
The answer is absolutely yes.
My own sons, who are 6 and 8 years old, had their COVID vaccine.
It's an added layer of protection to keep kids from getting any type of severe illness or complications from a COVID infection.
A lot of parents are also wondering if the vaccines are safe.
Yes, it's safe and effective for children.
Definitely safer than a COVID infection.
Children get a smaller dosage than adults do.
So if you have questions or concerns about the vaccine, that's okay.
We're here to help.
We have the tools we need to protect kids and help them stay healthy, and all get through this together.
I'm excited for baseball season, but I'm also a little bit curious about what you did for spring break.
Well, I went back home over spring break and helped out with work and yeah, pretty much just chilled.
Nice.
You?
I just caught up on some homework and started some final projects, so we'll see
nice.
how those go. Well, thanks for joining us for this week on the Met Report.
Remember to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and find us at mymetmedia.com.
Have a great weekend, everyone.